The Butcher's Wife. So, collective, I actually heard asogi when I picked up the energy behind your cards, which means butcher in Portuguese. And I also saw like hanging meats and stuff. Now, looking down here, I've got the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. There is a sense of buying something from a vendor, because then we've got the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is the vendor, the person who actually kind of does the grunt work. You guys do not do the grunt work, because you're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Empress. This is the client who just sits pretty and waits for the thing that they purchased to be given to them. Now, I also saw, when I was picking up the energy behind your cards, was like a castle, like a shimmering, pristine, princessy looking, like mansion castle like thing. So that's the vibe behind the Empress, is maybe you guys are, or maybe this could go vice versa, where you're dealing with customers who are like princesses, you know, or you yourself are a princess, and you're just acting, you know, like that's just how you act when you deal with people who are selling you things. And there's definitely a sense of luxury. There's a sense of opulence with the Empress, with the Queen of Pentacles. That's somebody who has plenty of money to spend. And maybe you guys you're dealing with customers who don't do anything for themselves. And they have so much money that they just buy everything they need. They purchase all the services they need from someone else. The King of Swords. The King of Swords is the person who doesn't give a shit as long as they're getting the money, right? So the vendor is both the Page of Pentacles is the King and the King of Swords. And you guys, again, could be vice versa, where you're the vendor, the other person's the client, or you're the client and the other person's the vendor, is acting like the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, which is super princessy. But, you know, the vendor couldn't care less. The vendor's just like, yeah, okay, here you go. Like, and maybe that's, you know, the vibe here is like, maybe you're the type of person who likes to chat people up while they're at work, and your life is pristine, your life is great, you have plenty of money, and you like to just have fun. And meanwhile, the other person is like chatting you up, and they're just kind of like trying to get you, you know, to move the line along. And that could be part of the problem or the vibe for this week. You could just be dealing with people who are out of touch at your workplace, who can't really take a hint as to when you're just doing your job, you know? These people, maybe they want to chat you up, maybe they just want to look pretty and they want to flaunt their wealth. And you're just like, I just need to get my job done. I don't have time to deal with customers who want to just hang out. I don't have time to deal with customers who are out of touch and just want to hang out with me. And so be aware of that. Let's pull more cards and find out more. Tell me more about what's going on with the collective this week. What's going on with the collective? That was pretty fast. 2 cards. Okay, so now we're finding out a little bit more about this dynamic and what's going on and where the problem is. You guys could be dealing with people who use their money to talk to you, to try to get their point across, to try to just air out their grievances, to try to air out their beliefs. You know, they are buying, you're like the person who's at the Dunkin' Donuts selling their coffee. I've been there, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. So you're selling the client their coffee, and you're just trying to move the line along, and meanwhile they're telling you, you know, to vote for Trump. And you're just like, oh God, like, can we just move this along? Like, I don't want to get into it with this guy. You're just a customer. I'm just trying to be nice. And, but this person just wants to move the line along. So if you're the customer, be aware of that and stop kind of like wasting people's time with banter that is really just, it's kind of like airing your grievances. It's like you like to hear yourself talk. You like to try to convince people of your ideology. That's Sagittarius, is convincing people of your belief system, but you're wasting people's time. And you're using your money to waste people's time because you're creating the role of client and vendor. Client, so somebody has to listen to you, right? And, you know, let's pull some advice, because we're gonna try to figure out how you can deal with these people. I don't know how you can really deal with these people. I mean, I guess when I was working at Dunkin' Donuts, I used to just give people short answers, you know, like, and if you give people short enough answers, they kind of get the hint that you're trying to move the line along. So there's strategies, but we're going to pull advice and see what you can actually do about this person. But before I pull advice, I just want to dig a couple cards into this deck. I want to see what else there is. Yeah, look, the mouth. The mouth. This person just likes to talk, or these people just like to talk. And it's not even, and it's almost like they're just looking for a person to talk at. You know, the mask is any face, any mask, anything that's human-like, that has the shape of a human face, they will talk at. And they you know, they might just be at your place of business because they want to do this, because this is like what they do. What they do is they use their money to put themselves in a position where other people have to listen to them, and then they talk at you. And I feel like it's anything. The left turn arrow is whatever's on their mind. It's almost like stream of conscious. Like, this is like somebody who can't maybe listen to their own thoughts without like yapping, and this person's yapping away at you. And I mean, if you're doing this, cut it out. But otherwise, we're going to pull advice and see how you can deal with this type of customer, this type of person who is a bit of an obstruction, I think, or is at least no fun. No fun. And I think like this is a form of energy vampirism. This is an energy vampire. Let's get some advice. Any advice here for the collective? Any advice? Okay, one card. Bummer. 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is comes in a lot of flavors. 7 of Wands can just be stand there and look angry, stand there stoically and say nothing, or have like a flat expression. Okay, let's pull more cards because like I said, the 7 of Wands comes in a lot of flavors. Okay, it's funny. Ace of Swords and the Fool is like saying, it's kind of like a short answer. What your actual answer is like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's a very short, non-committal answer that might be true, but also it holds. It's like empty of anything. It's fluff. You're basically just telling them something that is what they need to hear to move on, really. So in the case of the person who wants to chat you up and talk to you about the Trump supporter, just tell them, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Or maybe if you don't want to lie to them because you do know, you don't have to lie. You can just say, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, so general, so non-specific, but also kind of cuts and ends the conversation. That's the advice. Let's pull more cards from the Oracle, and then we're going to wrap this up. And then we're going to actually move on to part 2, and I'm going to have we're going to dive a little bit deeper and see if we get even more information on for all signs on Patreon. So let's see what we get here with the Oracle. Well, I have one card out, and it's a very interesting card. It's the Universal Hexagram. So the Universal Hexagram is about you being you, and you don't have, like, not lying, really. So the advice here is don't lie, be yourself, but you can also be dodgy. You can be dodgy and be yourself, and maybe I think you guys might even be good at being dodgy because we have the Universal Hexagram. It's like, play to your skills, play to your strengths. I feel like you guys are actually good at playing stupid. That's what this is. It's like, you're probably good at playing stupid, so play stupid and play to your strengths, and move these people along. And that's how you kind of get people to, how you move the line along in life when you got people trying to spout their ideology at you, and you know that they're not listening to anything you're saying back. They are just there to talk at you, so you just got to move these people along. These people are a waste of your time. And what's that saying? That Buddhist saying? It's not worth arguing with fools. It's only, right? Don't argue with fools. Don't argue with fools. And that's what this is saying. Just move them along. Move the line along. Don't argue with fools. All right, collective. That is going to be your reading, but I am going to move into part 2, which means I'm going to be digging a little bit deeper into the energy for the week for the collective. And I might even do signs and quickly narrow down on earth, air, fire, water to get more specific information for each of you. So if this is where I leave you, guys, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate y'all. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Patreon in a little bit.